Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered. I'm Joe. It is Digital Week here and we are doing a sports game. This is Golden Lap and you just saw the intro there. So this is kind of classic Formula One and it is a fun game. It's not overly complicated. It's actually fairly straightforward and simple. But it lets you play out basically like a whole career starting in 1970. So Golden Lap obviously is a reference to Formula One racing, and it is also golden age, if you will, depending on whether you think the 70s were the golden age or not. Some would say earlier than that. But anyway, let's not get into down into the weeds of the arguments of the history of that particular sport. Let's start the game, and we'll start a career. So we click career, and you can do, these are the two that I already have going. We won't worry about that. We're going to start a new career. Now, we can say hexed and countered. Well, close enough, right? There. Countered. All right, now you have to pick a team, and these are all kind of loosely based, or maybe more than loosely based, on real-life teams. Starting with the most powerful in the upper left and kind of going down, and this would be the least powerful, Knight, which is one of the careers I was playing previously. This is an American team, which was one of the things that attracted me to it. We have April, Vernier, Bancroft, and Pope. I think that says Pope. We're going to go with, let's try April. Go with the orangey color. It's a British company. Its predicted position is 9th. And you get a little recap here. April, an operation that designed and built cars for various other teams to fund their own, found great success at lower levels of motorsport and hoped to replicate it in the Grand Prix with limited success. Still, their reputation for reliably competitive cars, quality workmanship, and good humor won them great respect in the paddock. I wish I had a chair that didn't squeak so much. Okay, so if you hear squeaky noises, that's me moving in my chair. Anyway, let's just look at some of these other ones. You got Vernier, which is French. Guillaume Vernier's outsized stubbornness would carry his team through a career almost as turbulent as his temper. His big heart and fighting spirit inspired great loyalty, however, and the team taking after him became known for their tenacity, ferocity, and for breathing exclusively through French cigarettes. Then we got Bancroft, another British. Pope is also British. Hemlock, British. Wayland, British. Chapman, British. LeBron, British. Ezzolini is Italian, and as I mentioned earlier, Knight is American. So there being so many British teams, let's play Vernier. We'll go with the French, and sure, why not? Let's go with the French, right? So this will be our choice. We will hit continue. Okay, it is currently drafting up drafting up the teams ahead of you. So it starts with the first, highest ranked one, they get the first pick. And then you get to build your team once they get to you. So we're 8th, so we'll go before April and Knight. All right, so here's our car. Nice little blue and white car, right? Now you can change this from balanced to experimental, which costs a little more. And then you have conservative, which costs 12. I usually go balanced. So we have to pick a driver. Okay, and so you get a tooltip here that tells you this is the team member selection screen. Here you will find a list of available team members for the selected role. You can also sort them by their stats or cost. You may notice some symbols next to their names. Those are traits. All crew members from both your team and others can receive traits throughout their career. They can either have a duration or be permanent. They can have a positive or negative effect based on the trait. All team members start with at least one trait. Hover over their icon to find out more about what each one of them does. Okay, so you can hover and it'll tell you various things, right? This is pretty obvious. These are young guys. These are basically mid-career. So vets, but not over the hill yet. And then you've got late career. There's one right here. Means he's a little older. You can see who owns these guys already. We can have Devon Bauer here if we want. You can look at his traits. He's business-minded. Okay, so this team qualifies for the next highest sponsor tier. So that's useful because your sponsor tiers are based on your team prestige essentially, and we're 8th. So this would allow us to get up to the next tier. He's also reckless, which means he might crash more frequently. He's good in the rain. He's a rainmeister. And then over here we have patriotic. So he's South African. So when we go to South Africa, he would do better there. He also costs 25, which is expensive when our total budget is 45. So I usually look for some bargain basement fellows down here. So some of these guys, and here's a French guy right here. So we may just take him even though he's not particularly accomplished, shall we say. He's free. And he's free because he has wealthy parents, I believe. So this driver is surprisingly affordable and it costs 5 resources cheaper than normal. He's a jerk, so that's great. They receive a -1 to engineer precision. So here's a negative trait. He's efficient, so he burns less fuel, and he's patriotic. Now these guys here, oh, that was Alessandro Rinaldi. That was the wrong guy. This guy, Antoine Morel, has rich parents, and he is handy, so that bonus for car reliability. So let's hire him because he's French, and we're a French team. And now we look for somebody who might be a little bit better to be our, like, primary driver, I guess you could say. Like we've got this guy here, he's careful, which makes him less likely to crash. He costs 9, so that would give us an average cost of 4.5 for our 2 drivers. That's not many traits, but that's a good trait, I guess. Then you can see this one is a silkworm, which is tire wear, and he's Brazilian. He's passive, so he's not particularly good at passing, and he's patriotic. So in Brazil, he would do a little bit better. And we got our German guy down here. He's a privateer, so he's relatively cheap. He costs 1. He's a mediator, and they have a plus 10% chance of increasing focus, but a minus 10% chance of increasing speed. That's the trade-off, I guess. And he's patriotic. So let's have some Franco-German cooperation here, and we're going to take him as our second driver. So looking at the drivers, you might say, well, you got 2 crappy drivers. Well, yes, we're ranked 8th, and to me, the money is better spent. We spent 15 now because we have the car that costs 14. We basically are, I'm going low ball here and just kind of try to get through the 70 season without being overly ambitious, and just kind of hope to move up a slot or 2. Stretch goal maybe 3, get to top 5. That would be an excellent season, because that would result in more money, better sponsors, and so it's a build, right? We're not the number 1, 2, or 3 teams that will be the ones contending for the championship this season. That's just not who we are. So we move on. Here's our 2 guys, our hometown favorite and our next door neighbor. Then we have to choose an engineer. So now this is a spot where I would maybe choose to pay a little bit more money to have somebody good. And again, you look at their traits, and he's avant-garde. So he's an engineer, is in their space when experimenting with new ideas. When building an experimental car, it receives a plus 10% to the higher limit and a minus 10% to the lower limit. We're not building an experimental car, we're building a balanced car. So we would not benefit from that. This we would benefit from, the aerodynamicist, but we're going to slot down and go a little further down. Now, let's look at Andre Picard. He's French, so that gives him a leg up, in my opinion. He is a broker, so he knows how to get the best deals. Building new parts costs 10% less. That's useful. And he's also avant-garde, which again, he gets a bonus when building an experimental car. So we can take him, and then we have Nadine Deschanel down here, and she is a strategist, who knows how to prepare their cars for all situations. Cars built by them degrade 10% slower, but she's actually hired by Bancroft already. And then we go all the way to the bottom. We got a Belgian down here, is the cheapest at 4. And finesse, proper handling is the key. Handling parts built or tuned gain the following bonuses: 20 performance added, +1 minimum value for tuned parts. So I'm leaning towards Picard here, so we'll take him. And we'll continue. And now we'll look at our crew chief slot. And so, again, top 3 are all hired. So the highest one we can get is Rolf Hamburger. And I love that name. So that's a point in his favor. He's also late career, so he's a little older. His skill is pretty high. So that influences the chances for a successful pit stop. Speed is the time it takes to do the pit stop, right? Steady hands. So he takes his time to ensure proper handling. And party animal. Yeah, I don't know that I want that. Sorry, man. Erin Lloyd. Could go with Erin Lloyd, the Brit. She's got steady hands. She's early career, but that's pretty solid 1-2 punch right there. As is Carlos Alvarez from Argentina. He's also steady hands and a tuning master. Now, tuning is important, in my opinion. Do we have any French? We have Martin Moineau? I don't know. Exacting. Oh, that's nice. He's also really cheap. Anyone else have tuning master? No, we're going to go with Carlos Alvarez, I think. I want the tuning master. That'll leave us with 14. So our engineer has no traits that influence the car's performance. Right? So there's balanced. And he's got the experimental. So if we change this, if we bumped up to experimental, now you can see over here the performance, right? And you see how it changes. There's more wiggle room if you go experimental. Your high end is a little higher and your low end is a little lower, right? And then if you go conservative, you get a lower high end and a higher or similar low end, I guess. I've never done experimental. It's tempting to do it since he gives us a bonus on it. To hell with it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's live dangerously. All right. Now we move on to the season. Okay, sponsors. Oh, forgot about the sponsors. They're very important. They are a way to earn extra money from races. The race income is the amount of money you receive regardless of result, but try to complete the requirement the sponsor asks for to get that hefty bonus. So you can see we've got exhaust, which gives us 1 per race. Pretty poor. If you finish 4th or higher, you get a bonus of 5, which is a nice bonus, and a season bonus of 10 to 12 if you finish 2nd or 1st. That's not going to happen, and that is probably not going to happen. Maybe once, maybe, but probably not going to happen. So I like this one. So you have petrol, who's kind of the middle. So you have the hard one, the middle one, and the easy one, essentially. And there are trade-offs. So your race bonus is only 1, right? But 12th or above is doable unless your team is really bad or you have drivers who crash a lot. The mid one here, 8th or above, that's kind of hard. I'm going to go with metal tubing as our initial sponsor, and then maybe next year we look to move up to maybe this mid-grade sponsor. All right. Put our car together, boom, and it is time. We start at the Circuit Eerste in Belgium, and it's got its own traits. It's a wet track, so bring your galoshes, and it uses the wet weather pattern. So weather it impacts the race as it does in real life, and you have to adjust to it and it does change over the course of the race weekend. So that is something to take into account. And this is a bumpy track that makes the cars harder to control, which increases our crash chance. Okay, so down here we have our two cars. They are identical, except that reliability on car 1 is a little higher than on car 2. You can do things like spy on another team. It costs 10, which I don't really have to spare. So we're not going to do that. And what we will do is we will let's go to the garage. So here you see, you get some tool tips on this as well, that you can upgrade the parts currently installed in the car. Upgrading a part increases performance and restores some of its reliability. So what ends up happening is you get your reliability up really high, and then you'll have performance bonuses that you can then use to build a new part. And the parts you can build are engines, chassis, and steering. Right? So then you can equip cars with the various things that you have here. So that is that, right? So I'll close that. I have 12 left. Let's boost this guy because we can. So he's 80, 81, 81. He's 80, 80, 89, and 83. So you get your average at the bottom, and that's good enough. We spent 6. We have 6 left. That's kind of my safety. And then we will just go to the race. And so now it is time to go and do our practice session and qualify and tune our car. And so you see the weather pattern over the track, and down here you have your forecast. So it starts overcast with the effect that the track dries out very slowly, but it ends as partly cloudy. So it's not necessarily wet, and here are our tire types. You've got soft, intermediate, and wet that we can use. So we'll use soft. As long as it's not raining, we can use soft. And even if it is raining, as long as it's not raining a lot, we can still use soft, which are the fastest of the 3 tire types available to us here. And again, this is a bumpy track, and it tends to be wet. But it's not wet right now. So we'll hit continue. This is a qualifying session. Its purpose is to determine the orders. The order the cars will be lined up in during the actual race. Here you'll be able to tune your car parts and start planning your strategy. Remember to tune and then send out your drivers from the pit lane using the designated buttons. Right. Okay, so then you get these messages of who went out and got messed up and is now hung over. So they get a -1 modifier, which is why I chose not to take the guy with the partier trait, the party, whatever it was, something partier, something like that. All right, so here we all are. You have your time scale down here. We can pause, and then it sets it to 0, and you can speed it up to 8 times. Now here are our 2 cars, right? Morrell and Fisher. Here they are in the pit. We have 39 minutes and 43 seconds left in qualifying time. So you hit tune, and then here's your tuner, right? So the tuning budget, which can be spent to increase the tuning meter. So you can get golden tuning if you hit the right spot in these 3 categories, and that will give you a bonus. So this is the tuning panel. Tuning your car parts allows you to swiftly adjust them before a race to gain extra performance out of them. These are the tuning meters for your individual car parts, reaching a specific range indicated by the yellow. So you want to be in the white. You want to go to the yellow without hitting the red. If you hit the red, you drop down. As it says, be careful, surpassing the threshold will overtune the part, deducting a significant amount of points from the tuning meter. By using these buttons, you can spend your tuning budget to increase the tuning meter of one of your car parts by a random amount chosen between the 2 ranges of numbers. These ranges are affected by your current engineer. So you'll see all this in action, but we can't tune right now. All we do the first time is we pick our tires. It tells you how much time it'll take for them to put those tires on the car. And then we do a tune here, and we do the same thing for our other driver, and we hit confirm. Now if I turn this on, the cars will, 9 seconds goes by, you send them out, and they hit the track, and off they go. Now they'll run a warm-up lap, the out lap, then they'll run a qualifying lap, and then they'll come back in. So that's how this works, and once they come back in, we can change our tires, we can tune the car, and hope to get better performance as we tune it to the track, and hopefully improve our qualifying positions for the race. And as you can see, we're now into the qualifying lap. We no longer says out lap. So you have out lap, your qualifying lap, then your in lap, and that's that. And you get scores on each sector for who is the fastest within that sector. And we won't get any of the purples for having the fastest sector because we're not that fast. And so now we're on the in lap, and we'll come in. And as I said, you could speed this up. So if I go up to 8, you'll see them zip around the track, and then they come in. And once they stop, we get tune again. I always pause it when I tune. So the first car is ready to tune. You can see the tire wear here. Also fuel and weather would be displayed during the race. In this case, we just see the weather and the amount of wetness on the track, essentially. So we're going to tune. We'll keep our soft tires. Now you can see here, this is our budget, all of these gold dots. So you spend them, and these are the ranges you can hit. So you know here you're going to spend 5, and you'll receive from 5 to 19 tuning, right? So if we hit 19, you can see that green slashed bar there. That is how much tuning we'll get from it. So if we click that, we spent 5 and we got 16. So pretty good, pretty good. You can spend fewer and try to hit, you'll get a nice short, you're guaranteed a shorter grow there, I guess. Let's do steering 2. This one spends 4. We got 9, and then now we only have 3 ticks left, so we could spend 2 and get 2 to 5, or we could spend 1 and get 1 to 5, or 2 and get 1 to 5. So it makes more sense to do that one. Now you've got a range of 1 to 3 and 1 to 2. So I would say we'll go for the higher bonus. We got 2, and there you go. So we're going to come out of this tuning session with no improvement on our engine. The chassis got a plus 23 and the steering has a plus 9. If we can hit this golden range in here, we've got a golden tune on that part. It's possible to get golden tunes on all 3 parts. It is possible. You can also mess it up and end up shorting yourself, but it is certainly possible. Now we need to tune the other one. Right, so it pauses when you do this, but I always pause anyway because I'm overly cautious, I guess. So let's go. There's not really a good one here. Spending 4 to get maybe 13, and we got 6, so that was not worthwhile. Spend, go there. We got 5 to get 17, maybe. Got plus 8, so not doing real well here. We'll do 1. Now we have 1 left, which means we can only do that one. And we're good. Now we wait for this to go send out, and we send them out. And then this one will go send out, we send them out. And we can go up to 8. And it'll slow down when you finish and your cars are back on pit lane. You see, he just entered pit lane, so he's coming to a stop here. We went back down to 1 in the time, and we go through the same process again. So this one, of course, costs 5, as you can see, 5 and 5. This one gives us the biggest range, but also this is the safest bet, right? 4 to 17. So let's go for that. And we did pretty good. I think we got 12, if I remember correctly, or maybe 11. Let's take a shot at getting something for the engine. A 5, not good. So let's take 1, and we'll do this one. And we have 1 left over, but that's it. And then the next car comes, we do this one. And let's do this. That's a pretty good deal. And this, a 2. So there's where you get swamped, and now I have to go make a little bit more of a risky choice again. to get to 19. So now we wait, they do their pit stuff, and then you send them out again, go back to 8, and let them zip around the track. And they're coming back in, and we get ready to tune again. And same thing, soft. We'll go that, and that, and that. I'm going to see if I can get our chassis golden tuned on this car. All right, and then we'll try this one. We'll go soft, and we'll go here. And we'll do this. And we'll do that. All right. Quick and easy. Send out. And we'll go to 8 again. And you get messages from your drivers as well. You see them pop up in the upper right there. As they'll come in, they'll get to the pit, they'll stop, and get into the stall, and do that, do that, and do that, and that, and now we're close. We're real close now, so that's good. Now for this one, let's go with that. This one I'm trying to be a little bit more balanced. Like that. And we have 4 left. Oh, we got a 7 there, that's good. And we'll try for 3. All right. Confirm, now we wait, they go out, boom, and boom. And go 8 again. Like we're kind of in the slot where we should be as an 8th place team, right in that 15-16 area. So we're not overachieving, but we're not underachieving either. So I'll take it. All right, we'll go there. And let's see, we'll go that. See, now here's where you need to be careful, okay? This one should get us there. If you do this one, you're probably going to go into the red. Because it's right on the fringe. So let's try this. And we're right there. Right there. So you got it. So that's a golden tune. And yeah, so that's good. We got that golden tuned. We're lucky to get that one, to be honest. As you can see, we got 18 and 17 here. So not a lot going on there. Now we'll do soft again. And this seems to be the best bargain, I guess. Got an 8, and we'll do that one. And yeah, we're getting close. Now 18 would be 82, right? So that's a risk, but let's try it. And we hit golden tune. Okay, good. So that worked out. We got golden tune chassis for both cars. Now we'll do up to 8 again. And they're coming back into the pit, and we'll slow down once they enter the pit lane entrance. And once he stops at the stall, get to tune, soft. This is our last. Well, we might be able to squeeze one more, maybe. If you can get out before your time expires, you get that last tune in, which can be useful. Let's tune this one, and let's do that. And we'll do that. And that's a 10. That's not bad. There's 2 left. We'll take this one. +5, so that worked out. All right. Now we got to tune the other guy here. Let's try this. It's a little cheaper, and we got 8 out of it. We'll try this one, and that one, and that's that. All right, now go out, Send out, and send out. 8. The question is, will we get them out again? And we will. We will. We will get them out one more time. Okay. I have to do this first. All right. Do that. Take a swing. Didn't get much. All right. Well, 50 and 43. That's not bad. Well, relatively well-rounded. And we got them both out, so we did get that one extra tune in there at the end. You can see some cards were already done. And he got 13th, so that's not bad. Morello, however, not doing all that well. So he's going to be 19th. So 13 and 19 for the start. And qualifying is complete. And we move on. You get your standings here. It tells you 5 seconds behind the leader here, which was not surprisingly. The 1-2 drivers are both from Etzolini. LeBron, which is the second, they have 3 and 5. And then Wayland is 4th and 7th. Those are your top teams. Now it's race day, and you can see we got similar weather, overcast, and then partly cloudy. Same track conditions. It's a 61 lap race. You've got your tire, or your tire selection rather. So we've got everything, right? The whole gamut. You've got your softs, your mediums, your hards, your intermediates, and your wets. I don't expect that we'll need the wets. And so you have to choose kind of what you want. So here's where a little bit extra strategy comes in, because you need to determine what tires you want to start with so that you can maybe squeak by with one fewer pit stop than some other teams that will help you finish further up. Of course, the racing, this is a bumpy track, so there'll probably be some crashes. Then you'll get some cautions. You may get a red flag, which lets everybody, tire up. But yeah, this could be interesting. So let's hit continue. So we're in the 13 and 19 slot here on the starting grid. Continue again. Now you can see kind of, right, this is our strategy. So you can do extra wear rather over here, conserve, right, which increases speed. As you can see, your tire wear goes down and your crash chance goes up. There's your mid-range, and then there's your, going all out, basically. Same thing with your engine. You burn fuel, which isn't ideal, typically. And then you've got team orders, where you can either tell them don't fight with your teammate, or, every man for himself, which is kind of the default. And so this is your tire wear, and this is your fuel, right? And then this is your track conditions, right, in terms of temperature and your wetness, right? And so and then we have Fisher down here and Morel up here. So if we change him to medium, you see the tire wear goes out. And then if you go hard, that's the longest lasting tire. So you see what I mean about only having one tire change, perhaps? That only is going to get him, it says 18 to 33 laps. That's the 33 you would only get by doing conservative use on your tire. So if you did this, you'd get extra tire wear, and you'd probably stretch that out to 33, which of course is more than half. So honestly, and then you look at hard, right? Everything kind of goes down a little bit, but you can get 50 out of here. So we're going to go with hard and hard, basically. I'm going to try and do one pit stop, get through the race on one pit stop, and hopefully pass some people who are a little more aggressive and take 2 pit stops. Right, here's our standing screen. This will show you where everybody is in the race. Driver panel, so you can see your This is just what we just saw when we were setting up. The strategy is in this little box here, and you can tell them when you want them to pit. They will also send messages that say, hey, my tires are wearing, I want to pit, or, hey, it's getting wet, I'm slipping, I need to replace my tires, etc. Right? So we're just going to go here. So get our red lights going, and then I'm going to put it on high speed so we can get through the race quickly. And you can see they're getting past, etc., right? 18, 19. Don't expect a lot out of this because we are on hards, as are most of the drivers out here. The guys on soft are trying to be a little bit more aggressive, and you've got the front runners here from Ezzolini on mediums. Right, so, and then you see the laps going by here, right, and you can see the tires wearing and everything, and we had somebody that already is out of the race. And we, 18, 19 doesn't do much for us. We'll get no points, we'll get no bonus. We've got drivers pitting now. So, even though they pitted, they're still ahead of us. But we've come up a little, so we're up a little higher now. As you can see, drivers are pitting, right? It's gotten brighter, as you can tell, I'm sure, by looking at the screen. And again, more drivers pitting. That helps us move up. Whether or not we can hold that is a whole other question. But we are in front of some people, at least. And we've let this play out a little bit. 13, 14 is pretty good. I'll take it. We're way behind some of these guys, obviously. We're 32 seconds behind Funselektor right now. And we're starting to drop even further, 15. So you see we don't have much. Let's pause it here. We're going to pit. Yes, I know how the pits work. We're going to pit, and we're going to go to medium. And that should get us most of the way through the race. And we'll do that, and then we'll do, for him, we'll do the same thing, and he's going to go to mediums as well. And then we'll come out and we'll do conservative on the tire wear for Fisher. He's a little bit ahead. And so now we'll resume again, speed up, they'll come to the pit, it'll automatically drop us back to 1. Now when you push your drivers, this is their stress level. You'll see if I push them, they actually go up. I can show you real quick. And let's just slow this down while I do this so you can see it. So if I go in here and I change my strategy and say, okay, let's go engine burn, right? Now, let's see what it does here. So you can see I'm conserving my tires for this guy so that he's going to have a little bit of rubber left at the end of the race. But let's speed it up, and you should see, well, maybe it doesn't when he's only pushing engine. Interesting. If I do, I don't want to do this because I don't want his tire, and there you see it going up, right? I don't want to do that though because I don't want him to wear his tires out. We can do the engine burn. And down here, we can switch and we can tell him, all right, go to neutral, and you can do engine burn as well. And see if we can move up a little bit. Now we can't burn the whole way. We're going to have to back it off a little bit. So it looks like we might finish 13th, maybe. But we're not catching Steiner. And the race is over. And we finished 13th and 18th, which means we made no points. We did not get a bonus. You can see we only pitted once. Most of the other teams pitted at least twice. They pitted once. One. Obviously that's ours. Villalaba here didn't pit at all because he crashed out early. And Levi Mock of Ezzolini won the race and did not pit. I think he was running medium, so you could do it. You do have to conserve, but of course their car is much more advanced than mine, so they can afford to do risky things like that. Unfortunately for us, we got no team points, no driver points. We got Etzolini in first and second and LeBron in third. That's kind of the way it goes typically. Here's our standings. We're tied for last or seventh, depending on how you want to look at it. We hit continue. We got 3 income. We did not get the race bonus. We earned 3. So that gives us 9 as we go into the next race. And here are our driver standings and our team standings, which are the same as the race because we're only 1 race into the season. Now we can have a sponsor challenge, right? And so these work the same way as your regular sponsor, except to achieve them, you have something you have to do. So for this one, we get 2. I say $2. It's 2 resource points, I guess, technically. It has to be in the next race because it's a 1 race time limit, and it involves golden tuning the engine on one of your cars. That's probably possible. We did golden tune the chassis on both cars last time, so you do know that it is possible for me, despite my limited resources, to golden tune something. And here on this one, you've got to finish in the top 10 without using the highest engine push mode. That's basically impossible for the car I have and the drivers I have. So we're going to choose this one. And then we would move on. But what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to quit because I just wanted to show you a sample of how the game works. I may do more videos on this down the road as I play through my campaign. Maybe some updates as we go through. I can show you maybe some race results or something as things are completed, just to give you an update without making the video real long, just if you're curious how it turns out. I'm not sure you would be. This is a relatively inexpensive game. It is available on Steam. You can pick it up and try it yourself. You can see that it's not particularly complicated. Other games I have that are somewhat similar to this, but maybe are a little more in-depth, are Motorsports Manager, which I really like, and Open Wheel Manager 2, which I plan on doing video for. I never did Motorsports Manager. It's an older game. I played the crap out of that game when I first got it. I haven't touched it in probably a few years now, but it is a fun game. And I'm curious to see if Open Wheel Manager 2, which comes from Microprose, if that one is as good as Motorsports Manager. A lot of people have said it's not, but I'm curious. I would like to see for myself. So, having said all of that, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, whatever, you know what to do. You can stick it in the old comment section, and I will do my best to reply at my earliest leisure, I suppose. Also, please consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing. I have a mission to make 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We are at 4,200, so anything you can do to help push that number closer to the goal, I would greatly appreciate. Other than that, I guess I am done for now. This is Joe. It's Sports Saturday in Digital Week here on the Hexton Counter channel. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.